Chuba Hubbard was really bad this past year, but he has the potential to be really, 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 really good. And for that reason, you probably want him in fantasy more than a lot of these running backs in this class. In 2017, which was actually Chuba's first year on campus, he was redshirted for basically because Justice Hill was like really good. So Justice Hill put together a 1,500-yard rushing season with 15 touchdowns and 30 catches on a team that actually had Mason Rudolph and James Washington, so a lot of NFL talent there. But basically, Hill is just dominant, getting all the backfield work, and Chuba redshirts. So not good out the gate. But in 2018, Chuba comes in and gets outcarried by Justice Hill in every single game that he was healthy. So not very encouraging until Justice Hill gets hurt partway through, I don't know what game, but he gets hurt midway through a game, and then in the 3 games after this, and like ending that game. So there was 4 games total that Justice Hill did not complete. Chuba comes in and he puts together 79 carries for 425 yards and 13 catches as well. So that's pretty solid. But the 13 catches part is very, very significant because Justice Hill had 13 catches all year, and Chuba had 13 catches in the 4 games that he filled in for Hill, or like not even 4 games. So that's pretty significant. And you'll see later why that is significant. Chuba actually ends the year with 742 yards and 22 catches on 6 yards per carry, and Justice Hill's yards per carry was only 5.9. So comparable, but Chuba gets the very, very, very slight bump there, and that's pretty good for his profile. But 2019 is where it really comes through. If you were looking at any rookie rankings after like this previous college football season, Chuba was right there with, all the guys, like right there with Cam Akers, DeAndre Swift. Why am I blanking right now? JT maybe like he was in the first tier, right? Because his 2019 season was incredible. So first of all, Justice Hill gets the 4th round draft capital, so that's great. And Chuba comes out with 2,000 yards on the ground and 21 touchdowns, along with 20 catches on a nation-leading 328 carries. So just like everything, just absolutely lit there. He's relatively efficient. He's just an absolute workhorse, leading the entire nation in carries. Also getting 20 catches. So, there's nothing that you can say wrong production-wise about that. That is just a monster season. And after that season, like I said, he was in the top tier of backs. And if he would have declared, he probably would have been a second-round pick. Like everybody was in that class. But he decides to come back for his basically senior season. And you know what happens here. He is not good at all. He plays 6 games, get injured in the 7th, and he only puts together 4.7 yards per carry and catches 8 balls. And his total yardage was 625 rushing yards. So that's not good at all. Especially, that's not good for any running back that is getting drafted, but especially compared to his sophomore season where he just went apeshit. That's not good. So he falls out of the top 10 in some ranking services, and this is in a substantially weaker class than last year. So while I understand the concern that Chuba fell off, I can see the concern, though this is probably what he is now. I don't get the big drop. Sure, he wasn't good and he should be dropped down, but this is not a good running back class. And someone that flashes the ceiling of sophomore year Chuba Hubbard should be at the very worst top 7, top 8, and he's been outside of the top 10 in many rankings that I've seen. So let's dig a little deeper. This right here, this entire part just says that he's really, 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 really fast. He's an absolute blazer. Straight line speed is going to be elite. He's a world class sprinter, and given his sophomore season, his dominator comes in the 91st percentile with over 40%. So anytime you're exceeding 35-40%, you're pretty elite. So he's a world class sprinter. He's very fast, and he was very productive with a great dominator. So those are 2 of the most important boxes that you need to check as a running back. He has 20 plus catches as a freshman and a sophomore, which means he had an 8.6% target share, which puts him in the 65th percentile. So that, once again, solid. If you're getting the 20 catch threshold like once, that means that you're not a bad pass catcher. I mean, that is just like an arbitrary mark that you can use. But 20 catches usually means that you had a solid season catching the ball. But he did it twice, so that's very solid. Also, that's about all the good actually. Why did I say also? That's about all the good. His BMI is gonna be very low. Right now he's 6 foot, 207, 208. So I mean the weight is there, but at 6 foot that's way too light. I guess if he comes in at 208, you can expect him to have workhorse and his like range of outcomes. But like anything lighter at 6 foot is going to be very hard to justify. I mean, given his BMI is going to be not very good at all. He had 7 fumbles in 2 years, so bad. And he had an ankle injury to end his basically senior season. So putting this all together, putting together his monster sophomore season, his bad. Wait, I'm just gonna start referring to his sophomore season as his like. No, I'm not. Never mind. He has a very good year as a sophomore, and then as a redshirt junior, he doesn't play well. So that's really all you need to know about this profile, is that he was elite last year and considered an elite prospect, and then the wheels fell off and his draft stock plummeted. And while there's a very high chance that Chuba Hubbard is not good in the NFL, I need you to consider this. This is like totally stupid, but there are 4 pillars of greatness when it comes to prospecting running backs. If you can achieve all 4 of these things, you are a very, very, very good prospect. If you're big, which Hubbard isn't big, but 208 isn't small either. I mean, like, as long as you're above 205, you're not small. So, at the very worst, he doesn't not check that box. Fast, we know he's incredibly fast. I mean, just blazing speed. Productive. Hello, dominator. I mean, come on. I mean, come on. 2,000 yards as a sophomore, like, dude, productive as hell. And pass catching, 20 catches in 2 seasons and a solid target share. He checks 3 of those boxes, and the 4th is not a not checked box. If that makes sense. So, at his peak, he checks all the boxes that you want in a running back. And I get that he was not good this year at all, but once you get past names like, I mean, obviously Etienne, Najee, Javonte Williams, once you get past those guys, and you're getting to like the Trey Sermons, the Michael Carters, the Kylan Hills, I think I'd rather have a guy like Chuba Hubbard, where we've seen an elite ceiling, and we know that if he weighs in well, if the ankle isn't a big deal, if something's happen, he has the potential to be a 328 carry workhorse like he was, and he's going to be productive on those carries because he's fast and he has the 3-down skill set. Like, the ceiling that he's shown warrants more draft warrants more draft capital in rookie drafts than what he's going to get, is what I'm trying to say. Because, like, once you get past the top 3-4 backs, there aren't guys that have the ceiling that he does, right? Like, I mean, go ahead and take Trey Sermon and take your maybe RB2 for a year or two. I mean, go ahead and take your... Oh, shit, I'm going to burp. Go ahead and take your Kenny Gainwell and take your Scat Back Plus. I mean, maybe he's James White, which would be lucky, you know? Like, I mean, go ahead and take fucking, I don't know, anybody that's not Chuba, because I want Chuba, right? Go ahead and take like any of these guys that have a lower ceiling than him, and I'll take Chuba because he's flashed everything that you want. I mean, he's flashed productivity, he's flashed good pass catching, he has decent size, and obviously, very fast. I mean, world-class sprinter. So, what more do you want? If everything goes right, you're getting a great running back, and right now he's like RB 10, 12 for some people. If you're getting him in that range, what's the downside? I mean, like, you're picking between him and, I don't know, a receiver that's never going to hit, or a running back that has like one-dimensional skill set. Like, he has everything that you want. He just hasn't like put it together in one season. Or he did, but now he was ass last season. So go ahead and take Chuba, because I'm going to if you don't. I mean, this guy is going to be my RB 5, 6, maybe even 4 if I'm feeling like really frisky. Because he has the ability and the potential to be an elite fantasy asset, and you can't say that for anybody else in this class besides Travis Etienne, Najee Harris, and Javonte Williams, unless something goes drastically right for another guy like Ramondre Stevenson or something, right? So I'm taking Chuba a lot earlier than you guys probably would, and that's good because even though he's undersized, he had fumble issues, he had a bad ankle, and he was not good this previous season. He has flashed everything that you want in a running back, and that can be said for anybody else in the class outside of a couple names. So I'll take him, and I'll be happy. So please start putting some respect on Chuba's name because this dude has everything that you want in a running back.